up, Shay? What's up, Shay?
Bonjour, what's poppin', what's up, how are you? If this is your first time watching my video, my name is Shay, or here's my handle. I have officially been an entrepreneur, boss babe, whatever you want to call it, for a year now. I've learned so much. This year has been my year of like taking a leap of faith and trying to navigate who I am, who I want to become, what I want my future to look like, what I want my career to look like, and a whole bunch of other things, and I've learned so much. So we're celebrating because I don't necessarily know if I thought I would make it to this point or if I would chicken out on this journey or like what this journey would look like, but I'm celebrating myself. I'm celebrating all of the clients that decided to say yes. I'm celebrating all the clients that decided to say yes to me, and I'm also just celebrating myself because I cannot believe that I basically charted unterritorial waters. Is that right? Chartered waters unterritorially? Whatever. I can't believe I did it. Nobody in my family does what I do. Nobody in my family has done what I did. I decided to just be like, forget what the culture says, forget what society says, forget what your family says, but just do it. And so I'm so proud of myself. And to all the Africans that are out there doing exactly what your parents told you not to do, shout out to you. I just wanted to recap the year and things that I've learned, celebrate, sip some wine, and also give you guys content creator tips because I've posted them on Instagram through the last year, but I figured why not have them in video form for you. So one thing I've learned, the top thing I've learned, is have faith in yourself and show yourself grace. It's very hard to show yourself grace, and I think in a space that is filled with creatives, I had a very hard time being like, my content's good enough. My content is worthy, my content is bomb, my content's funny, the pictures are bomb. I worked hard for my digital art. It was very, very hard, and I think it's because I follow so many other amazing content creators, and I've been obsessed with content creating or influencing, and I'm always gonna put air quotes because I think that title is gonna change, or what that job looks like. Let me put this wine down. What content creating was gonna look like for me, or looked like over the last decade, which is how invested I've been in the space. I had expectations of myself, and they were very unrealistic because I've never done it before. And so I think just because I've seen so many amazing pieces of work, whether it's video, whether it's pictures, whether it's reels, TikToks, all the different things that I've seen, I just had that pressure on myself because I know what a good piece of content needs to look like. But I've learned to show myself grace. Am I a perfectionist? Absolutely. Is there such thing as perfection? Absolutely not. Every single day is a battle. My entire tribe in my creative space that has seen me work behind the scenes knows that I'm very hard on myself, knows that I'm like, no, I can do it one more time. No, I can do it one more time. So learning to just be like, this is it, that's it, has been very hard, but I've done it, and I'm amazed. Tip number one, please show yourself grace. Tip number two, allow your tribe to help, no matter what that is. Taking pictures, if you just have to ask a friend yo, can you please take my picture? Or if you have to ask a friend and be like, was that right? Hey, what trends are out there? Because of the amount of stuff that I consume, I do typically know certain trends that are going on, for sure on Instagram and YouTube, but not so much on TikTok. If you take a TikTok trend and you put it on IG, it performs better because IG hasn't seen it and they're like, wow, Tanya taught me that. Even just navigating what I want my feed to look like and my aesthetic and my vibe, I didn't know. I knew what I liked, but I didn't know who I wanted to be on IG and what was important to me. And so having those difficult conversations about the content that I wanted to put out there has been game changer. Ask your tribe for help, ask them for their advice. I know a lot of times we tell entrepreneurs or we tell new business owners or people that are stepping into careers, don't ask people for advice who have never been in your shoes. But I think there's a way to do it, and I think there's a way to ask for advice that we forget to do. So naturally, if you've never started a business, I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, do you think I should start this business? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But if I think hey, do you like this song over this video versus this? I'll absolutely do that. What else have I learned this year? Number three, if you have, doubters is a really hard word, but if you know that you need to protect your space and your energy and you don't feel like announcing and oversharing what journey you're on as you navigate it because you know outside voices tend to affect you sometimes, don't tell anybody. Don't do it. I didn't announce, I think, that I decided to be an entrepreneur or start my own business or navigate this space for months. And that's because I know myself, and that's because I know I'm a people pleaser. I know I'm a family girl. I know that if I heard certain people be like, why would you do that? Or the no's or whatever, it would just get in my head, especially when I already was questioning this journey. So I decided not to share for my own personal reasons. Some people have yet to know. Some people will be watching this video for the first time and be like, she did what? And that's even including some of my family members. And that's okay. I think had I announced prematurely and on my terms, I wouldn't have like stuck it through, and I wouldn't have decided that I'm still gonna keep going. Number 4 that I've learn to pivot. It is very, very hard to decide like, yes, I'm gonna do this, and then something happens and you feel like your whole world is crumbling. So just learn to pivot. It's okay if it doesn't go as planned. Put it out there, who cares? And if it didn't work, or you recorded something and you thought it was gonna be something else, it's okay to just say, hey, trash that content, or maybe I can reuse it. So that's tip number 5. All of the content you've created is reusable. If you guys are new here, then you don't know this, but Thara, who is my cousin, sister, bestie, all the things, she's also my editor, and I'm consistently saying there has to be content that I've already created that we can reuse. There has to be, especially in the seasons where you are exhausted, especially in the seasons where your creative juices aren't flowing. Trends come up and they're like, hey, compare, you know, what you looked like in 2015 versus 2021. Show me your family on a holiday. I have tons of videos from God knows where and what that can always be repurposed and reused. Even reposting, like your audience relearns you consistently, and that is something that you have to remember, and so it's okay to repurpose and reuse. So don't forget that. For me, honestly, in this whole entrepreneur journey is never stop learning, never stop reading, never stop saving posts. I still have so many questions and I'm still learning all the time, but I follow a bunch of other entrepreneurs and I hear their journeys and hear their stories, and so I'm learning from some of their mistakes. I also understand that I'm gonna make my own mistakes. I made a post about my 1 year, and the thing that I learned about entrepreneur and why there's not like, everybody doesn't give you like all their tidbits and like all the things at once. Also, don't necessarily share all their negative moments, is because our journeys are our own. I think if all entrepreneurs were completely honest with every single negative thing that's happened to them consistently, a lot of other people wouldn't take a leap of faith. A lot of other people would not follow their dreams. A lot of other people would not walk into their purpose. So those are my tips for you. I had a lot of downfalls this year. I struggled with checking my emails often enough. Emails literally gave me anxiety. The amount of emails that I receive are just very overwhelming. Struggling with email response rate is something that I'm working on. I struggled with it a little bit before, but like the influx this year has been wild. In that same sense, something else that I struggled with is like engagement. But because of my growth, and I understand like the growth that I'm going through is completely different than somebody else. I don't know if you guys have watched or heard the like TikTok / reel, whatever, the voice that's pretty much like, yeah, you wanna grow at like 200 people a day or something, but if 200 people walk through your door, like, would you be able to handle it? The reality is like, no. And so the influx, though I'm so thankful for this community on YouTube and Instagram, the influx is very hard for me to navigate. And I honestly sometimes get so overwhelmed by my DMs. Like, I'm like, this is so much. Like, I want to be able to connect with everybody, and I'm trying to, but it's very overwhelming. And so that has been a downfall, because you guys communicate with me in emails and DMs. Didn't think y'all would reach out in emails, but y'all are doing it. So bills, like, what? You don't know where your next coin is coming from, like, for real. Like, you know, but you don't know. And something on the influencer side that people don't tell you is like, when you guys see a piece of work on social, know that we probably signed a contract or were in communications months prior to you seeing it. And it wasn't even just the signing and deciding, negotiating how much you may possibly make or not make. It's the work behind it. Like, either there's a photographer involved or I'm shooting my own piece of content. If I'm shooting that, I have to be my own makeup and hair, navigate a concept so that you guys can relate to it. I have to send it in for approval. They may look at it and hate it, even though I love it, which means I have to reshoot, which means if I'm hired a photographer, I have to pay another photographer, like I have to pay again. I probably have to come up with a new concept. I probably have to contact an editor. I have to write a new caption. It's pointless to like redo it, because then you're not feeling it. To be very honest, it's been very hard to say no to so many brands that I love because they're not willing to pay me my worth. Like taxing. It's so hard to like choose integrity over a coin, choose integrity over a brand. It's so hard. But it's like, dang, I really liked you as a brand. Dang, I really wanted to work with you, and you want me to do this for free? Do you know how much time and effort it takes for me to like get it done? Again, I'm like a baby influencer in the grand scheme of things. I know that like, yes, sometimes we're gonna play around with the dollar amount, but at the same time, I've been in this space professionally for 4 years. So when I post, I know my worth. When I create content, I know my worth. When I hear other content creators hype me up, DM me, have phone calls with me, letting me know that my work is comparable to them, that in itself, listen, So when a brand is like, will you do this for free? I'm like, with that same sentence, this is the double-edged sword to that. If you are starting out, I think there is nothing wrong with creating content for free for a brand in the beginning as you navigate what it's like to go through a campaign. There's nothing wrong with it. I've done it. My organic content obviously is free. And so I'm so grateful for the tribe that like supports me and hypes me up and is like, no, it's gonna be okay. No, it's gonna be okay. No, it's gonna be okay. Even deciding like how much you need to charge for your work or as an entrepreneur, sometimes throwing a number out there and being like, are they gonna say yes? Are they gonna say no? Are they gonna be like, girl, have you lost your mind? You want me to pay you what? That is like nerve-wracking. I know my worth. And so when I throw a number out there that I believe that I'm worthy of, it's still weird to be like, are they gonna pay me? Are they gonna see my value because I'm on my own? Are they gonna this? Are they gonna that? Test it out. You have to. I have literally sent an email, hit send on an email and thrown my phone across the room, walked away from it and been like, and come back and they're like, absolutely, say less. And you're just like, oh, you see my value too? First of all, thank you God, and thank you to you. I'm so grateful for the journey that I'm on because the people that are my clients know me well enough to know that, like, I say this all the time, I would still do it for free. I know I'm not supposed to say it. I would still do the work that I do for free, but I understand, like, I gotta eat. I understand the worth. I understand that you are taking away, like, my brain, and, like, I can't get the moments that I work on your stuff back. For them to remind me that like you deserve to be paid for it has helped me a lot. So get people in your corner that support you and do that, because that has been very hard. The other side of entrepreneur that is super hard is people not understanding what you do. To this day, I feel like everybody knows what influencing is or content creating. I feel like they do, but they don't. So when you meet somebody new or you bump into a family member that is like, what are you doing on the internet? I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And they're literally like, so you take pictures for free? It hurts, it's frustrating to downplay the work that we do as entrepreneurs. And I'm saying take pictures for free because that is just my role, but whatever it is for you, I know it's frustrating when somebody doesn't get your job. I know it's hard when somebody doesn't get your vision, which I also understand, that's why it's your vision, but it's very, very difficult. There's been downfalls. Have I cried? Absolutely. Have I literally worked on a piece of content for hours and hours all for it to flop? Yes. Putting together this video alone, the setup, because I so badly wanted my beautiful balloons that Jaleesa got me in this video, took me 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes just to get right on this camera. It takes time to do the things that you love. I've never heard anybody saying entrepreneurship is easy, but it's hands down the best decision I've made for myself. To be able to like reinvent myself and reinvent how I want to see myself in all the things. And so, yeah, never did I think this would be my life. I'm now uncomfortably, amazingly excited to see what the future looks like and what that means for the Shaymah Ali brand. Just know that I'm here, I'm rooting for you, I'm supporting you, and I'm so excited that you guys have rooted for me and supported me. Y'all my peeps. With that being said, I wanted to do some content creator tips that I told you guys that I would share. Let me grab my phone. Don't be afraid to start over and reassess what you might need help with. I use my iPhone way more than people think, and a lot of content creators use their iPhones. Tidbit, when you're recording a video, at the top right corner, hit it into 4K so that you have higher quality videos. Your video will do great. I don't have like my own actual like photography camera. I hire a photographer on occasion. I have my friends take my pictures, and 2 of my friends are currently content creators as well. So I literally asked to borrow their camera and they've never said no. Clothing, I know it looks like people are buying clothes all the time out there, and I'm not saying they're not. Borrow from your friends, recreate outfits in your own closet. I've done it for years. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, I don't have this color bag. Hello, do you have a bag that I can borrow for you real quick? Thanks, sis. It's literally that easy. It is very hard to ask for help. I completely understand it, and I'm not saying it's not, but ask for help. A planning social media tool that I use is Planoly. Completely obsessed with Planoly and my notes tab. So in my notes, I have shared notes with the people in my tribe that help me run my social or that are in this space, so that I can be like, hey, I just wrote a caption, can you edit it? Because grammar is like not my thing. I also am a terrible speller, so they like review it, or I have a concept or whatever. So whether it's Thara, Jaleesa, Tanya, whoever, they are all on multiple notes and they can see what my captions are gonna be, and I'm like, can you just edit it real quick so that it makes sense? Am I forgetting something? whatever. Another tip that I wanted to go ahead and give you all in here is, if you know you are going to do something major in the future, finding a way to pre-record stuff or finding a way to get that content prior is life-changing. I moved into my apartment. Hi, this is my apartment. Something I did was go back to my apartment, ask the lobby if I could have keys to my unit, and I pre-recorded my empty apartment tour. I pre-shot all of the pictures in that empty space because I knew that when I was gonna be in the moving process, however long that would take, I just didn't want to stress about like, oh my gosh, I didn't announce that I'm in a new apartment and like how exciting that is. I wanted to take everybody through my journey. So those are tips that have like changed my life pretty much over the last year and helped me a lot. And I figured I would share them with you guys. That's it. I'm gonna go and continue celebrating. I wanted to hop on here and just capture this moment and have a time capsule for what this next year is gonna look like. Let's speak stuff into existence. Next year, I would like to have a personal assistant. I already know who I want a personal assistant to be, but on YouTube, I would love to hit 10K on YouTube. 10K on YouTube, 10K on TikTok, and 25K on Instagram. Those are gonna be like my goals. I also wanna have like an e-course situation because I want to be able to provide value to so many of you out there. I'm at capacity with the 3 that I have plus me right now. And so, you know, figuring that out. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me and following me on Instagram and liking my posts over there and engaging with me. Please make sure to be a blessing to somebody else. Thank you so much for being a blessing to me. I love you and cheers to the next year. Mwah. Bye.